What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 134 of Value Town. I'm ChanManV, and today I'm joined, of course, by my co-hosts Alliestrasza and Jackie Chan. What's up, guys?
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
All right, and we've got a special guest that hasn't been on in a long time. Used to be a very frequent visitor to Value Town, so I'm definitely happy to finally get a chance to have Toast back on the show. So I want to welcome DisguisedToast. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, glad to be back. Yeah, you're right. It's been a while. It's so long that Noxious looks a lot different.
Noxious looks a lot more feminine for some reason.
Yeah, excited to talk to other human beings instead of just chat for once.
Nice. No, we're definitely excited to be talking to, I guess, the piece of bread too.
Yes.
Yeah. So lots of stuff going on, guys, in the community. Just GamesCom, actually, we just saw some news there, but as well as a lot of obviously things going on in the meta. Going to be talking about Druid again for topic of the week, but before that, we're going to talk about adventure mode, and then of course we're going to be doing the Twitch chat challenge again, and then we're going to have deck of the week. Couple Q&A questions at the end. So if you have any questions for us, go ahead and send that to valuetown@chanmanv.tv, and we'll try to get them either this week or next week. But why don't we start off, though, with how our week's been in Hearthstone? So what have you guys been up to in terms of playing the game? Why don't we start with you, Toast?
I have been playing Quest Mage.
Why am I not surprised?
So I had Legend. I don't know if it was within the week, but I think a week ago, and now I'm trying to have Legend on EU with Quest Mage.
Oh, okay.
But I've been also trying this meme thing with Medivh and Rogue. So Rogue has access to Runeforge Hunter, which prevents your Medivh charges, the weapon charge, from being used up. So you slam that down, and then you play counterfeit coin, prep, backstab, and summon six.
Yeah.
6 no flipper penguins that just dies right away. But hey, you still keep your charge on.
Dude, that sounds like a Twitch chat challenge just right there. That's crazy, dude. That's totally crazy. So I guess Flipper Penguin isn't actually a top 5 card like a lot of people were putting on their list.
I mean, the OTK meme Raza combo is actually pretty sick. It just becomes 0 mana, deal 2 damage. But
yeah. Okay, so that sounds like fun. Allie, what have you been up to?
I hit Legend as well within the week. I played Shocker Druid.
What kind of Druid? There's so many good Druids. Which one did you actually play?
I actually used a Medivh, Pheno's Medivh list, which went very, very well. I was playing a lot of Exodia Mage around rank 2 because I was running into a bunch of Jade, and then for whatever reason, the meta just flipped on me, and it was all aggro, and then I got completely wrecked by aggro with Exodia, so I switched to Druid. Medivh list had all the good stuff: Spreading Plague, Infestation, the standard. And so yeah. And then I also did a co-op with Just Sayin.
Yay, that's fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. He had his Exodia Mage list, and we did kind of a co-op and trying to learn how to play that deck perfectly, so that was fun. And that's been about it for me.
It's pretty hard to learn how to play that deck perfectly, as I'm sure Toast can attest to.
I screw up at least once every 3 games.
Once every 3 games? I screw up 3 times every game.
That's not bad at all. I was
Jeez, that's not.
I thought you were going to say something like, I screw up about once a turn.
Right. Jackie, how about you? Anything cool this week?
Just memeing around. I've been playing a lot of the less played classes this week. I've been playing a lot of Hunter and a lot of Shaman. I've actually been playing a lot of different control Shaman builds, trying some kind of N'Zoth type things, and then I don't know if you can remember Crusher Shaman, where you play Shamblers and Faceless Stone with Ancestral Spirit, and that actually worked way better than I thought it would. So I've been playing a lot of that, and it's been pretty good.
There's not much silence out there, and Transformation, people aren't playing Polymorph right now, so it's kind of Hex maybe, and Shaman.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually surprised that I was beating Jade Druids with it. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna play my 7/7 and then just don't touch it, and then you just Ancestral Spirit and then just kill them with 1 or 2 big minions. It's pretty good.
Nice, man.
But
nice.
it does feel a little bit like Big Priest though, where it feels quite inconsistent because you don't have that many minions and you're like super reliant on drawing them, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
So it's kind of interesting you're playing Hunter, because we were going to talk about a little bit more down the topic of the way when we talk about Druid, but I was trying Hunter too. And you know what? It wasn't that bad. I actually had some success with the mid-range one. It was pretty good. And the build-up
what type of
good stuff.
Hunter are you playing?
Just a mid-range, just straight up mid-range. No secrets or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Secret Hunter is really not bad as well. Like Cloaked Huntress is like crazy. And Cat Trick is like insane right now. Like it's great against all the mages, great against Druid.
Okay.
So Cat Trick, I mean, just Cat Trick alone is like insane. But,
you play Putricide at all or no?
Yeah, I played Putricide quite a lot, but I'm not overly impressed.
Really?
Oh, no.
Free secrets and not
it's so hard to get more secrets with her. Like it's just
just
I
garbage.
feel like he's not worth it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer, man. I was like looking forward to maybe playing around with that a little bit later. Yeah. As for me, yeah, just a little bit of that. I've been definitely trying to figure out some shamans. So because we were talking about deck of the week on Monday about coming up with a shaman deck for this week, and I was trying to that overload deck, just with the giants, or I forget the name of the card, but the one that gives you a discount, or if you have any, or for how much overload you've played so far. And that didn't go too well for me when I was trying it, but still trying to figure that out. Maybe that N'Zoth one might end up being a good one to give it a run this week. But outside of that, for our week, I figured it might be good to talk about a couple things that Twitch came out with that I noticed on the just when you're looking at the Hearthstone directory on Twitch. Man, have you seen it? They've added all those cool filters and overlay
you can
stuff.
Filter by game mode, the class they're playing, and their constructed rank. So they use this kind of like they image process your stream, so they know exactly which class you're playing, what rank, and which mode. So if a viewer wants to I only want to watch, shaman players, they can click the shaman button and only get shaman streamers.
I only want to watch a shaman streamer that is rank 4.
Dang.
Okay.
Very specific.
Yeah. What happens if you cover your rank though? Like, can they tell?
I don't think they can tell, because I think what they do is they look at the bottom left, because that has pretty much most of the information, like your rank, and just try and look at your hero portrait for the class.
Okay. Yeah, there's no way of sniffing anything else, right? It's purely image checking. This is like technical question between me and Tim.
Because it's being done by Twitch. It's not being done by Blizzard.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know.
No, there could be APIs. Maybe they made available that we just don't have.
Maybe they have a partnership.
Yeah.
I think it's image based.
Yeah, regardless, it's really, really cool with the filtering they do. But also, when you're watching the stream, you can actually mouse over cards on the board too. So if folks aren't familiar with cards, they can just mouse over the card and it blows it up and you can actually see what the card is. So that's really, really cool. I wish we could do that for tournaments, so that that would be nice.
Wait, is this on Twitch now? Like,
yes.
The overlay thing is for select people.
Yeah, the dog is one of them.
Special,
okay.
The filtering is
this
for everyone.
facilitates sniping more. So.
How so? Like it just when you mouse over the stuff that's played on the board already, you can see a blow up of the card.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it helps sniping any more than it does already. Yeah. So, anyways, pretty cool features. I mean, they've been talking about it for a while, and I think there's even something with the deck, but I'm not sure what that is. Like maybe they show some aspects of the deck. I think generally people haven't liked that, but I haven't actually seen that part of it yet. But these features they've been talking about for a while, so it's really, really kind of cool to finally get a chance to see it. It's kind of across the board too. In other games too, they've added some more filters. Twitch doing some cool things, which is nice. Also in GamesCom, cool. They announced, or just now, like maybe like an hour or two ago, they showed I didn't actually know they were going to do this, but there was a new, I don't know what do you call it a commercial or do you call it a cinematic? But there was, is it
I'd call it cinematic.
Cinematic, yeah. Okay. So they had a new cinematic called Hearth and Home. Actually, let me see if I can find it. But it was impressive. Like the quality of it was, in my opinion, it was better than the Overwatch ones. It was like that new. There's like a new movie coming out called Leap that's made by either DreamWorks or one of the studios, and it looks like that girl looks like she was made by the same people. Yeah, so it's kind of like a mini musical too. Let me see if I can find it while we're looking up. What'd you guys think of it? You guys get a chance to see it?
I thought I was watching like a little mini Pixar movie.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. The animation was really well done.
Very cute. It was actually like, I mean, we've seen the Overwatch animated short, so to actually see Hearthstone get like that kind of high tech attention, I like it was pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we haven't really seen something like this before, at least for Hearthstone.
All right, let me show you this. This is for those of you who haven't seen it. Like, I mean, at first I was like, "Is this Frozen? Like, what the heck's going on?" Like, this is like, you know,
About to burst in the soul.
Totally. I was like, "Oh, this is totally a Frozen knockoff." Like for Frozen, like Knights of the Frozen Throne. Look at this. So, yeah, I mean, I wonder if they're going to continue doing this. They seem to have stepped it up with marketing. We talked about it last week, but Toast, I mean, have you noticed like more money being invested into these expansion advertisements and things?
Yeah, for sure. Like what they did for the Lich King, all that extra videos and appearances at events, it's way more than from before, like in Ungaro and Gadgetzan. I don't think Gadgetzan got any maybe it's a BlizzCon because it was announced at BlizzCon, but I didn't see anything about Gadgetzan outside of BlizzCon for promotion.
That's right.
For Ungaro, they did a couple of short videos, but for Knights of the Frozen Throne, they really went all out.
Yeah, I mean, they had that event at Comic-Con and
the Ben Bro internship stuff.
Yeah, the Ben Bro internship thing, yeah, totally. So yeah, I mean, it starts off like this, and then all of a sudden it breaks out into like a musical, like they're singing and stuff. Look at this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Very
look at the quality. This is like crazy good.
Innkeeper is great.
There's almost like a Gaston in this video too. It's like amazing, like totally.
Yeah, it does have a Beauty and the Beast vibe too.
Yeah. But hopefully this is just a sign of more to come. In terms of marketing for each of their expansions, really hyping it up. I mean, God knows they have enough money to do this type of thing, so that'd be really, really nice. Check it out, guys. It's in this link right here. I'll link it in the chat if you guys want to see it. Let's see. The other thing that they announced, or at least they talked about a little bit, were tavern. I guess you would call them tavern brawls, where you fight against the Lich King. And,
raids.
Raids. Yeah, tavern raids, I guess is what they're called. And the big one that they had was one at Gamescom, and it was like Lich King had 1 million health or whatever, and it's supposed to be like the biggest fireside gathering ever there. So they're able to do that at Gamescom, but soon you'll be able to do this type of boss raid at any fireside gathering. As long as you're registered as a fireside gathering or as a tavern on the fireside gathering site, you'll be able to see that. As well as there's going to be a fireside, what do they call it? Fireside brawl, I believe, where the taverns can brawl each other, like the different fireside. Taverns.
Tournament. You're gonna have at BlizzCon where firesides fight against other fireside taverns. Fight against other taverns.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's fun.
We've got a tavern here, so we're trying to figure out how to get that set up so that 3 people representing our tavern here can go at it with others against others. That's gonna be fun.
They're really trying to hype up the whole real life aspect of Hearthstone, socializing, fireside gathering, tavern. So they're doing one big push, and having the reward be you get to fly out to BlizzCon is pretty good. And the competition shouldn't be insanely high compared to traditional Hearthstone, because there's that real life aspect of it. So people should be getting excited about that. Yeah,
it's gonna be totally hype. I mean, it would be funny if I wonder if the pros are actually going to go to firesides more, just so they can go to BlizzCon. Jackie, we got to get you to a tavern, dude. We got to totally get you to tavern. We got to get you to BlizzCon.
Yeah. No, I like it. It's making the gamers interact. You know what I mean? Not staying at home.
Hearthstone social
interaction.
Imagine? Wow, this is amazing. No, it should be a lot of fun, and kudos to the fireside team. I know. Just a friend of ours, Amy, who used to run this giant Orlando Fireside just a few times a year, and she joined the team recently too. So really, really cool to see new stuff coming out there. Okay, let's talk about adventure mode, guys. So this week what do we call it? The second wing, or is it the third wing? Is the prologue considered the first wing?
And we call it
I think it was the second.
Okay, it's the second wing, which is the upper reaches, was unlocked, so all of us can play it. So the 3 bosses there. Did you guys have any problems? Like last week, it was super easy, and then the prologue and then the first wing were super easy. So, was this any more difficult for you guys? Jaggy, or go ahead, Toast. Go ahead.
It was pretty easy. Like I think the thing about these adventures is that if you have the wrong deck, you get completely screwed. So like the first one is if you don't have much minions in your deck, if you're playing a spell-based deck, you got nothing to bite with the hero power and you just lose right away. Mm-hmm. And the second one is if you don't have any weapons, then you're gonna lose right away. And then the third one, if you have too much spells or too much minions, you're gonna get wrecked too. So like once you know the gimmick, you can easily beat it. But it's that surprise factor. It's like, oh shit, I don't have weapons. I'm playing priest against Sourfang, which only takes damage from weapons. Yeah. I'm gonna lose this one, so I have to rebuild. So it's easy, but you do have to have a deck ready to go.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like you said before, just summarizing it, the first boss, the hero power is, it's like a vampire bite or something. So actually, I think his hero power is like lifesteal damage, and it changes your hero power to a bite, and then you have to buff something +2/+2. So once you buff one of the minions, either your opponent's minions that have like 2, 0, 10 minions on the board, or your minions, once it's bitten, it can't be bitten again. So you can't buff anything twice, that's where it's a little bit tricky, but generally easy. And then the second one, what was it again? You have to do
the weapon.
Oh, secret. No, it was secret.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. The third one is the weapons thing, right? Like kind of.
No. The weapon was from first week.
That was the second one on the first week.
Yeah. So the second one is the secrets. So basically, his secrets are free. Like that's generally how it goes.
Yeah, and that was just jam mage and just play a load of secrets, and, like Antonidas as well, and then that was pretty good.
Right.
I have to say, I was expecting them to be a little bit harder. Like they're obviously kind of niche, so you do have to build a different deck for each one, which is definitely good. But they were kind of like the first one I just played with like some hunter deck.
I know, just whatever deck, right?
Yeah. And then second one just like lost my first game and then just instantly played mage and then won the second one. But yeah, I thought it would be a bit more tricky.
You guys are smarter than me. You guys played mage on the second one. I ended up playing paladin for some odd reason. I decided to play paladin. It took me like 2 tries or whatever, but that's so smart. And last one, the third one. I thought the third one was the coolest one because it there was an additional puzzle where you couldn't have that many minions, and how it worked, guys, is that there were basically 4 spots on your side of the board that were blocked as like an ice cube. And there were like these ice blocks or whatever. So you only had 3 spots to work with from the start. And the way their hero worked was that every time he got damaged 10, so at the 20 mark, at the 10 mark, when his health was at 20 and 10, it would turn all of your minions into these ice blocks that occupied spots on the board. So there was a little bit of working around that. I mean, I think you could have just gone straight weapon. I just went straight weapons. You could have gone straight spells. You could have, or a lot of spells. But I thought that one was probably the coolest one that maybe to date. I mean, I don't think any of the other ones were in prologue or the first wing were even that inventive. So that was kind of neat that they plugged spots on our board.
Yeah, I just play Pyro Orc that one.
Really?
I'm gonna just admit it. I'm just gonna say it now.
Yeah. I played Weapons Warrior, so it's almost the same.
So there's that.
So next week we get the Lich King, right? Or is it this week? Maybe later this week we get
tomorrow.
Oh, is it tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the last one, I think. Yeah.
So, and then you get to unlock the new skin for Paladin.
Yeah, Arthas. Yeah.
Wait, do we have to do every single
class
mission with every class?
No, just the Lich King with the 9 class.
Yeah, just Lich King. Yeah, we were we were wrong last week. So you only have to beat the Lich King, this final wing, with each of the classes, and apparently Lich King is adapted to be better against the class that you choose. So
really?
yeah, he's supposed to be different
Right.
for each one. Maybe this is the
Somebody
part
go
that's
for
hard. Yeah, maybe this is the part that's actually hard. We'll have to see. Definitely be doing that. And if you guys have any funny stories or whatever, definitely be sure to email that to us because we'd like to hear how you guys did with it. But overall, what's your review of the adventure mode? Like, is it different? It's pretty much the same, right? It seems.
Yeah, it seems. I mean, I was expecting it to be a lot harder, but it seems
Yeah.
very similar difficulty, and I guess it's probably slightly more. You have to make your decks a slightly more fit the boss you're going to be facing, but only by a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that there's no heroic mode too is like, I don't know, maybe it's all back end or just like loaded on the very very last guy. So we should probably hold judgment until after Lich King.
It could be, yeah. I mean, the Lich King could be like impossible.
Right.
Ultimately, this is to give like a free pack to everyone, but not like just hand it to them, make them work for a little bit.
Not like this.
But the majority of the players are just low budget, newer. I want that pack really badly. So if they make it too hard, you can guarantee a lot of people are going to be upset. It's like, oh, I can't beat this. I just want my pack.
It's true.
So they need to do it in a way where it's like, okay, it's easy enough for the average dude to just get it without working too hard. Even though I think I agree, it's like, let's make this more challenging so it's more interesting versus just blowing through it and never revisiting it.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna go for Arthas? Are you gonna get him?
Heck yeah.
I'm gonna go for it.
You're not gonna do it, Jackie? Come on.
No, I'm gonna try. I mean, to be honest, I want to do it just for the challenge of being the Lich King with all the classes because it's gonna be different. I'm not really bothered about skins, to be honest.
Oh yeah, sure.
But it's style points, like cute.
Style points. That's right. When they see the Arthas skin, they're so intimidated by your paladin.
Exactly.
Concede immediately. Right. Okay. Well, guys, I can't. Obviously, be ready to do that tomorrow. It's probably going to be around that noon time or somewhere
10
in
a.m.
there. 10 a.m. Okay, 10 a.m. Okay,
Yeah,
good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Next up, we've got topic of the week. And last week I was dedicated pretty much to Druid and just talking about how good it was. This week we're going to talk about maybe take a look, have a different conversation about Druid, just because it's still a very very huge topic in the community right now. And I'm going to pose the question just as a topic: is Druid class too oppressive right now? But I think it's going to be good for us to kind of approach it not only just from more of a negative or must nerf type of standpoint, but also just what's currently available to counter it. So we'll kind of start off with that. But to begin with, I did want to show like the latest Tempo Storm ratings, which just cracked me up because I was like, oh, Tempo Storm ratings, it's cool. Let's just see what people say. Surely there's like something that I'm missing, that might be there. But this is what we get from Tier S right now. So, I mean, I don't actually remember there ever being a time in Hearthstone where, let's just say Tier S in the meta snapshot had this many decks of the same class occupying all of the spots. Right? Like even Shaman at its best was never this, like at least in terms of diversity and just dominance. So, am I remembering correctly? Can you guys remember anything?
No, I can't. But I mean, this is just a meme, though, right? Like Malagos Druid is definitely not.
Right. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Just ignore Malagos Druid, but the others I think are legit. I think the others are quite legit.
I mean, I think Jade and Token is definitely like top tier, but Aggro and Ram Druid, they're good, but I think they obviously memed it up to make a point.
Yeah, I think,
yeah.
The thing is, like a lot of newer or less experienced players saw this and they took it like super seriously and got really mad at oh, look at this is so broken. It's like, I mean,
well, look at this, what have Blizzard done this time?
Oh no.
But it is really strong.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that from like the joke standpoint. Like some people, if they weren't as aware of the meta, I feel bad. No, I mean, other than mid-range Shaman being once in its own tier of its own, this has definitely never happened before.
Yeah. I think definitely having two decks from a specific class dominate, like be 1 and 2, is I don't think that's ever happened. So has it happened with Warrior? Was Control and Pirate ever 1-1? Might have 1A and 1B. Might have. That might.
I don't
have
think
happened.
so.
Yeah. Okay.
There's never been a point where it's like when you're facing Warrior, you're like, oh, is it going to be Pirates? Is it going to be Control? It's usually no one or the other. So right now, when I face Druid, it's like, do I mulligan for Jade, which is a slow matchup, or do I mulligan for Token, which is a super fast matchup? If I don't mulligan correctly, I'm going to get completely wrecked.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it is kind of a good thing to have that though. I think it's a really bad thing when you kind of start a game and you instantly know the whole 30 cards they're playing, like,
Right.
which is what happens a lot. Sometimes if there's one deck for a class that becomes really popular, everyone suddenly starts playing that, and you queue against, say, Shaman, and you know their exact list. It's just going to be Evolve Shaman.
Yeah.
You know all the. I think that's definitely a bad thing.
I mean, it's the whole choose one theme, right, for Druid, basically. But usually, you know, one of them isn't like each of them individually are not like super optimal. In this particular case, they're both super optimal for the Druid. So pretty tough there. But okay, let's start off. Let's start off the conversation by just posing the question: is Druid class too oppressive right now? Allie, what do you think?
Yes, I think it is. I do feel like it is early, like still in the new meta. So I do think things could change, and I do think everyone's kind of hopped on this Druid train. But yes, I do think in general, like we were just saying, if there's multiple decks for one class, I think there's an issue. Now. Oh, I don't know if I want if you want to like let me keep ranting like what I think is the issue or.
Oh well, why don't we keep going, and then we'll definitely talk about what you think is the issue. Jackie, what do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a problem with Druid, but I don't think aggro Druid is really a problem, because you compare like aggro Druid to Murloc Paladin. They're both pretty similar.
Yeah, that's true.
They got off to a good start. They can snowball, but they can both get beaten by control decks. But Jade Druid, the one problem I have with Jade Druid is literally just spreading plague. Because it gives, like, Jade Druid should be good against control and weak against aggro, but spreading plague alone can just win you games against aggro, and I think that I think that's the main problem.
Okay, so Jade Druid and Toast, what do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I 100% agree. It's mostly Jade Druid, and like spreading plague is really strong, but like when I play against spreading plague and say, you know, taunt druid or ramp druid, it's like, all right, I mean, it's really powerful, but spreading plague in Jade Druid really, I don't know why, but like when Jade Druid plays ultimate infestation or spreading plague, I get really upset. But if it's like a ramp druid or a taunt druid and they play ultimate infestation, it's like, okay, you're a ramp druid, you're playing big stuff like ultimate infestation. But when Jade does it, it's like, no, you can't have that. You can't have Jade Idol. Jade ramping, ultimate infestation, and spreading plague. That's way over the line.
Yeah.
And the other issue is just the amount of druids being played, right? There's this perception that Jade Druid is so good, and it is good, that so much people are playing it, and which forces you to like build a deck that can beat it as well. Like, let's say Jade Druid's at the exact same power level, but only like, I don't know, 4% of the meta is playing Jade Druid, then it wouldn't be as bad. But it's the fact that it not only is it good, but it's also super popular, that kind of forces everyone to like revolve their decks around Jade. Yeah. So yeah, I think right now it's not very fun.
Yeah, it's a natural tendency, right? The net decking is always going to cause that to happen. If there's a consensus good deck, it's always going to move the meter. And I think Blizzard right now is in that mode. You know, we saw that interview with Ixar just saying that, you know, it's not uncommon to see a class played, you know, this early in an expansion, to play this much. So they're obviously in a wait and see mode, which I can understand given it's only been like a couple weeks. But I'm right there with you guys with spreading plague. The thing about Druid, and you know, like one of the coolest matchups was always like Druid versus Shaman, you know, just the class that goes wide versus the Druid that struggles against it, right? Because they have swipe, and swipe sucks, right? Basically against those type of classes. And it's always been like a weakness to the Druid, that and just throwing down huge minions, because people just don't play The naturalize and mulch is gone and things like that. So I don't know. It's always been, the weakness that I've always assumed that Druid had. And now with spreading plague, you eliminate one in a big way. In fact, you flip it. So when Shaman goes wide, you just go, man, I just got 525 value, and it's amazing. I just flipped it on you hugely. So yeah, I feel like plugging weaknesses for this powerful deck and archetype is just making an impressive deck. So yeah, I think we're going into what's the problem with cards.
Yeah, we're getting there.
I kind of wanted to talk about countering it first, but since we're already kind of down it, why don't we talk about some of the other cards that we think might be an issue? Because I'll bring up Innervate just because Reynad made some long video about Innervate being an issue and why. He made some good points too. So you guys think Innervate is a card that they should consider Hall of Faming or maybe changing a little bit? I mean, this is probably the most iconic card to Druid.
I mean, I think that Innervate's the best card in the game. I think most decks would, if they had the option to run Innervate, would run Innervate. I just really think it's ridiculously strong. My worry is that if you wrote or put it in the Hall of Fame, will that just completely kill Druid? And I like Druid. I mean, I don't want it to completely die. I wish there was some kind of balance or a good way to balance it. I'm just worried about it killing the class, honestly, if it does get rotated.
Yeah, it's literally one of the most important cards in Druid. Like, if you're making a Druid deck, no matter what you're playing, you're putting Innervate in there.
Exactly.
Innervate is going in.
I don't think there's ever been a Druid deck without it, right?
Yeah, it's...
Well, your egg deck at one point didn't have it, right, Jackie?
At one point, yeah, but
then you learned, then you realized your errors.
I thought, why am I not playing the best card in the game?
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, Innervate is another one of the Druid cards that really helps the deck against aggro. So it would be very interesting to see Innervate go to wild. Like, it would be crazy, but I wouldn't be against it. I have to say I wouldn't be against it because I think Druid does just have too many good tools against aggro at the moment. So
it would still have
some of the. I think something in the some of the anti-aggro Druid cards need to be changed.
Okay, Toast, what do you think?
It's tough. Like, I think Allie's very correct in the sense that Druid's so reliant on Innervate. It's hard to imagine a world where Druid don't have access to Innervate because it's a really super strong card, but how responsible it is for the success of Druid. Would Druid just disappear? But if Innervate's gone, I'll be pretty happy because in Hearthstone, you can kind of predict what your opponent's gonna do. Priest is my favorite class to play against because turn 2 they can Shadow Word Paint, turn 3 they can Shadow Word Death, turn 6 they can Dragonfire Potion. You know exactly where they're at in terms of their options. Against Druid, it's okay, it's turn 1. Oh wait, here's an Innervate Vicious Fletching. Now respond to this turn 3 mana play on turn 1.
Right.
Or it's Innervate Bitter Tide Hydra. And even if you have a Shadow Word Death, it's yeah, I'm supposed to have an answer for that turn 5 play with my 3 mana card, but because double Innervate, I couldn't plan around it and I can't play around it. So that's one of my reasons for not liking Innervate. It's it throws everything out the window when it comes to just thinking.
I mean, it's basically just really insane free tempo, right? But if you're thinking about moving Innervate to wild, do you think that would mean we'd have to move Preparation to wild as well?
Or Coin. The half Innervate.
Because prep is super similar to Innervate. It's not people don't complain about it right now just because Druid has better stuff, but Preparation is extremely similar to Innervate in what it's doing.
I was just about to use the example today. I got the Lich King out on turn 3 with Innervate Coin, and I was gonna say prep can't do that, but at the same time, prep does allow for insane Edwins, but then you're using 2 cards at that point, you know. So it's
prep.
I don't know.
Prep feels more in line, I guess, with like Allie said, the power level isn't nearly as high, and it does feel a little bit more synergistic with what Rogue does. I mean, Rogue is a combo class, right? And without cards like prep, it wouldn't. They wouldn't have that as many tools. Like they wouldn't be able to combo until a lot later in turns. Outside of backstab and prep, those are like the two big things. With Druid, they already have like ramp is defined by wild growth. This is like a burst thing. This isn't like just your general ramp theme, and I think that's where the difference is for me. So I'm going to pose this question: what if Innervate changed from a 0 mana card to like a 2 mana card? So you still get that 2 mana. Just that addition, like, just the additional mana crystals, but it would be more like for 2 mana, you get 4 mana crystals, something like that, what do you think about that? Is turn 1, 2 an issue, more of the issue, or is it just generally being able to ramp or just to burst 2 mana at any time is the big question or the big problem? Do you think it would be better? Because turn 1s and 2s, I freaking hate. Because I hate those turns against aggro Druid, right? Like, it's just like unfair. It's like, oh my god. I mean, they just put down 2 or 3, like 3/4, and like it's ridiculous stuff on the board. Yeah. So they would have to wait. They would have to wait at least until turn 2 to be able to do something with it. I wonder if that would help at all or help enough.
I mean, it wouldn't change much in Jade Druid, right?
Yeah, that's probably true.
It would definitely make aggro Druid slightly worse for sure. But. It's a nice idea.
What if you made it more just like a coin? Like, could you nerf Innervate to just being a coin, basically?
Like half.
Or
half, right?
Half. I don't know if that'd be worth it at that point, or how much that would affect it. I mean, I think it would a decent amount, but I don't know.
Then it's not unique.
Yeah,
it's a feral coin.
Another common suggestion is just making it replenish mana instead. It's like if you're at 2 mana, you can only you have to spend the 2 mana and then get the 2 mana back. So you can make a 4-drop play. I think that suggestion has been made really common.
Yeah, I like that suggestion, honestly. I think more so than most.
I'm not sure it would be used as much. It would be used in aggro probably, but I don't think it would play it at all.
That's probably a good thing if it's not used as much, right? What we're trying to do here.
Yeah, okay, that's true. That's true.
And we already have Kuhn, the Forgotten King, with the same ability. Like, he doesn't give you 10 mana, right? He just refreshes your mana. So if you innovate out Kuhn, it's only an 8 mana gain. So maybe they'll just take what they have already and just reapply it. But I don't know if they're going to hit Innovate. There's so much little things they can hit, and Innovate's one of them.
Yeah, it'd be a drastic change. I would like to see a world with no Innovate. I think that would be cool. Maybe they could develop the Beast Druid even more, and it could become Hunter. I don't know. No, but
Beast Druid is not that bad. Literally, I played Beast Druid.
Have you recently? Was it good?
Yeah,
wow,
it's fine. It's fine because the new 2-drop is a beast. The 2 mana 1/5 taunt.
Yeah.
That thing's amazing.
Yeah,
with Mark on it, man, it is pretty disgusting. Okay, well, again, like with no Innervate, maybe that they could develop that more. People would actually start playing it more, and then we could really see the potential of it. Any other cards you think are problematic right now? We've definitely, the Jade cards have been talked ad nauseum just by the whole community, but could we change Geist to be even more of a Jade killer than it is right now?
And the thing is Geist doesn't always work.
It does.
It's not enough. Like in some, I think, control decks where you really do have the resources to answer up until a 10 or a 12/12 or something, and then you play it and then they can't, go crazy. I do think it works there, but the majority of the time I feel like they put too much pressure on you and the Geist doesn't even do enough. So I don't really know if Geist is an answer. See, like we were saying earlier, as long as a deck has like a natural counter, which was aggro originally, I think everything would have been left in check. But the fact that spreading plague it's the best all around deck. It beats control, it beats aggro. It's just, and I think that's the issue, is that it doesn't really have a weak point, and that's
Quest Mage does beat it, right? Quest Mage is considered the counter.
That is true. Yeah, Quest Mage definitely does kill it.
It's just Quest Mage is so weak to a lot of other stuff.
Exactly. So, yeah.
So there is something out there. It's just it just might not be. That they talked about. They want the meta to be fun too, right? Like not just balanced. There needs to be the fun feeling, and I think we had that in Ngoro. And right now, I think we're headed more toward, that fun meter is starting to level off or head towards, the wrong side of the spectrum. So
yeah, I mean, Jade Druid isn't a fun deck to play or play against.
Yeah.
Tell it how it really is, Jack.
Yeah. So why don't we talk about some ways to counter it? So for the folks, I wouldn't expect Blizzard to be changing anything in the near future. So we'll have to deal with the current situation, which is a very heavy Druid meta right now. What are some decks that maybe people haven't played yet, or it's not like a huge discussion in the community that might be a good counter, for the current Jade Druids and things like that? So basically anything outside of Quest Mage. We all know Quest Mage is doing very, very well against it.
Just following on from Quest Mage, I actually saw, I think it was Purple on Twitter today. He was playing a Fatigue Mage with obviously like a load of control tools. You got called like oracles and like meteors and stuff. And then he was playing Geist in that. And he had like some insane win rate against Jade Druid. He was like 13-3 or something against Jade Druid with this Fatigue Mage. So that's something I haven't tried yet. But if you want to counter Jades, that could be a good idea.
That
Looks really fun
works?
as well.
Wow.
Apparently. Apparently.
Can it beat other decks? I probably.
Can it beat other deck? Well, so here's one thing that the three of us were talking, or at least me, Allie, and Jackie were talking about last night, is that I think it's really good whenever you do have a deck that's dominating, or maybe even just it seems like it's dominating the current meta. The best thing to do is just to build something that's egregiously countering that deck, and then kind of working backwards from there, right? So if that mill deck was built particularly to beat Jade, and beat, I don't know, maybe even Aggro Druid, I don't think so. I don't think Aggro Druid would probably lose to that. But if it's made specifically to beat Jade because Jade's so popular, then you kind of work backwards from there, right? Just to see if it's good against other stuff. But definitely the version that's made specifically to beat Jade Druid is not. It's very unlikely to be good against other stuff. But add a few more elements. Maybe it could be good. I don't think Mill's been historically good against a variety of decks, though, right?
No.
Yeah. I think another thing that I played this week some was the Silence Priest.